And a very big hello from Winter Park, Colorado, and your Colorado Freeride Festival and your Maxxis Slopestyle Open. The finals, 18 of the top riders ready to do battle out here. 2 wild card positions up for grabs. I'm joined by 2-time winner here at Colorado Freeride Festival, Cam McCall. Cam, you're excited to get this thing going, right, man?
Oh, I know. The anticipation has been building. We had a doozy of a qualifier 2 days ago, and then a rain delay yesterday. So it was good. It gave all the riders an opportunity to rest up, and everybody's looking really good in practice this morning.
And it's kind of funny talking to a few of the guys. Like, what did you do yesterday? You had the whole day off. It was a rain out, and everybody just kind of chilled. I mean, there's a lot of competitions going on, so it's a chance to let your body heal a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it was stormy enough yesterday to where all the slopestyle competitors just took it as an opportunity to hot tub and maybe formulate a new plan in their head. It's kind of good to have a little downtime. I'm sure they were bored enough to be ready to send it today.
Well, today is the day indeed. In Colorado, when you think about Colorado, it's such an amazing place to go ride your bike. Why is it such a cool place out here in Colorado?
Look behind us. You see these gigantic mountains. That means gravity. There's great dirt here, and, the people. There's a lot of just recreation-minded individuals out here in the valleys of Colorado, these really cool mountain towns. And when they have chairlifts, you got no excuses. Put your bike on one of those things and ride down.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's Colorado is considered mountain biking nirvana. And for more about riding here in Colorado, take a look at this.
This week, the top slopestyle mountain biker athletes crossed the world to reach Trestle Bike Park. Denver, Colorado has long been the gateway into the Rockies for mountain bikers, but now is a bike destination of its own. Denver hosts a number of urban bike parks in the metro area. From there, the riders traveled over the Continental Divide. Winter Park Resort is Colorado's oldest continually operating ski area. 10 years ago, Winter Park opened Trestle Bike Park, providing access to over 40 miles of gravity-fed trails, utilizing 4 chairlifts across the mountain. The trails feature everything from daunting downhill courses to a full-size freestyle course to trails specifically designed for first-timers. Of course, Colorado Freeride Festival is the biggest weekend of the year. In addition to the Maxxis Slopestyle Open, there's downhill mountain bike racing, the Intergalactic Pond Crossing Championship, and even a race for children under 13. If you haven't been here, you definitely need to plan a trip. Here are the bike park stats. 40 miles of lift service gravity trails, 4 lifts, 600 miles of cross-country trails down valley, 50 plus trails, and only a mere 67 miles from Denver.
And if you ever get a chance to get out here to Colorado, especially Winter Park, you definitely want to make the plan to get out here and do some riding yourself, right?
It's worth the trip. You just saw it right there.
Definitely worth the trip. Now let's talk about this event. Maxxis Slopestyle Open. Cam, you've won it 2 different years. It's only been going on for 11. Those are pretty good odds to win it twice out of 11 years. How do you feel about this event and what it means to freeride mountain biking?
Yeah, this event is really important to the slopestyle scene in general. For the young, up-and-coming North American riders, it's the only big contest in North America. So you see fresh faces from all over the States, all over British Columbia, other places in Canada, but also big-name riders from all over the world because it offers up points for the Premier Series, the Diamond Series. So as a result, in the last 11 years of events here, you've seen young riders launch their careers.
Oh, yeah.
And then also top-name riders showing up, getting those big points, standing on the podium. So it's always a really good show for the local Winter Park crowd.
Well, and you and I know, of course, that Nicholi Rogatkin made his name out here. 2013 was the year, and people didn't know much about him after winning the BMX Worlds. But he came out here, and this is where he made a name for himself, right?
Yeah, I mean, the course has a lot to do with that. It's a legitimate slopestyle course. So if a rider's going to try to, dip their toe in the cold water and see if they want to take the plunge, Winter Park, Colorado Freeride Fest is the perfect example. And Nicholi came out. Everybody thought he was solely a BMXer. Fast forward, what are we, 4 years later now?
4 years, man.
And he was #1 in the world last year. So it just goes to show some of the young riders that you don't recognize from here at this event today, they could be #1 in the world in 4 years' time. So it's always exciting to tune into this one.
And then another one of those guys that we talk about, like Nicholi Torquato Testa, a guy you had some time to spend with him at his place. But he's a guy who made a name for himself out here, too, as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling some reminiscent feelings here watching guys like David Lieb. He qualified out of the rounds on Friday, and also Eric Fedko out of Germany.
Yep.
Two guys that I had not heard of until the qualifier, and now I'm thinking we may see those guys in Joyride if they play their cards right today.
Man, you never know. I mean, this is something that can happen. We've seen it happen with riders before, so this is how it plays out. And I'll tell you what, it's an amazing course. I mean, you think about Magaza, who had so much to do with it. The late Kelly McGarry built so many of the obstacles here, so it has just a feel of Magaza in there to it. And speaking of the course, I think it's time to set up what it's all about in the format of this event here in your Maxxis Slopestyle Open, the finals. Cam, let's break down the format.
So here's how things are going to work out here. It's the typical format used for every slopestyle contest. Each rider gets 2 runs, with the best run, the highest score, counting toward their overall ranking at the end of the day. The judges are looking for things like amplitude, how high the rider's popping above the ramp, and how difficult the tricks are that they're choosing. Now, trick difficulty is important, but also variety. You can't do the same hard trick off of every single feature down the course. You'll get judged down for that. And use of course. What that means is doing a difficult trick, not only on an easy feature, but on difficult features. And progression. The sport is at a ridiculous level right now, so you have to be doing things that are current. Execution. Even if you're doing difficult tricks and different ones all the way down the course, the feet have to be right back onto the pedals. That's how things are going to work out here, Brad.
And that is your format, but let's talk about the course in general. In fact, instead of us talking about it, let's do a course preview with Max Fredriksson and Nicholi Rogatkin.
What's up, guys? Nicholi Rogatkin here with Max Fredriksson. We're out here at Trestle Bike Park for the 2017 Colorado Freeride Fest. The course is super rad. We're going to show you guys a top-to-bottom run. Let's go. Whoa! Dropping. Drop it into this first big step down. Oh my god. Look at this big wall feature. Now heading into the cannon log. Little tail whipper on it. Let's go into the big berm. First big jump. Max throwing a big spin. Yeah, dude. Now we're flowing into the on-off feature. Popping up. What's up, dude? Jumping down. Now into the biggest jump on course. Dirt to dirt. Whoa! Now into the last jump. Oh, some big flips for the boys. Hell yeah. Yes! There it is. Colorado Freeride Fest course preview. How was that, Max?
That was insane.
Proud, hell yeah.
Man, how much stoke was Nicholi and Max having on that one, right?
For good reason. This course is so much fun. It's got great flow, designed by Tom Hay, and a pretty well-balanced course as well. You've got things starting out with a kicker drop, you've got the on-off box in the middle, and then a handful of really good trick jumps. So plenty of opportunities for riders to really strut their stuff.
Oh, and the riders will be strutting their stuff indeed, because it is all coming up for you. Stay with us. It's the Maxxis Slopestyle Open, the finals coming up.
The Maxxis Slopestyle Open at Colorado Freeride Festival has been brought to you by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. GoPro. Be a hero. New Belgium. Home of Fat Tire Belgian Style Ale. The American craft beer icon.
Your Maxxis Slopestyle Open, the finals coming your way. Cam McCall, Brad J, bringing all the knowledge to you out here. And thinking about what we saw, it's been so long ago. It was actually 2 days ago that we had the qualifiers going on. But we had some names up there, the top 3 dudes, and they did not disappoint because they're in the mix here today.
Yeah, it was really good to see Braden Barrett-Hay coming out so strong. He's a guy who's been clawing his way back up to the top for the last few years. He had a big crash at Whistler about 3 years ago, but bringing tricks that nobody else is doing, like a 360 Superman Secret Indian Air to tuck no-hander. He's been building a slopestyle course for training at his home in Ontario. He's a guy who spends most of the winter riding indoor bike parks, so to adapt those tricks to a big slopestyle course, he had to build something special, and it seems to be working.
Qualified third, Max Fredriksson qualified second.
And Max Fredriksson, another guy, surprisingly kind of coming back on a reunion tour as well. He had a big crash at the beginning of the season, but a huge result at the end of last season. So looking to pick up here where he left off last season and doing exactly what he needs on Friday to do so. Big, well-balanced runs, that's what we know him for. A guy from Sweden, so all the way across the world, just going to show that Colorado Freeride Fest bringing some of the best riders in the world.
Nicholi Rogatkin looking to try and get a win out here today.
And you know what, believe it or not, he's got more in the tank. You're watching this first place qualifying run from Friday right here. He ended this run with a huge 1080, and there was a couple tricks in the middle where you know he's kind of just playing with it. He knows his trick level is so high above everybody else in the field. He can put together a run that's a little bit chill for him, but still qualify first by a large margin. We're gonna see that 1080 right here. Let's savor that.
Oh.
Now that's the craziest trick we've seen out here so far. Believe it or not, he's got more in the tank for finals today.
That's a thing of beauty. And when you think about Nicholi Rogatkin, he's got 2 big wins this year. He won, it was in Rotorua, and then he won out in Innsbruck. So 2 solid wins in slopestyle this year. But this is an event where he made a name for himself, but he hasn't won it. 3 podiums, no wins yet. Could this be the one for Nicholi?
You know, a lot of riders would kind of just chill in the middle of the season and wait, you know, try to collect all their points for the Diamond Series. But Nicholi, he never chills. He cruises to all the gold events, and this one meaning so much to him, having so much sentimental value, you know, being the event where he launched his career. It's good to see him back, and you know he wants that win so bad.
And he's going to keep coming back until he gets it, and he'll still come back after he gets it too as well. Max Fredriksson, I like what you talked about him. 3rd place in Joyride last year. Then he came out in Rotorua in March, got 6th out there in Rotorua, but then the injury got him and took him out of the mix. And he's looking good, qualified 2nd. He's back, right?
Yeah, he's looking real good. He broke his collarbone like you mentioned earlier in the season, so he's been trying to rehab that. And I talked to him this morning. He said that it is a little bit sore. You would never know it by watching his riding.
Right.
But he's going to be pushing through some pain here today, trying to get back to that podium spot. You know, he was there last year, and you know he has everything that it takes to get back there in 2017.
So now we talk about the 2 wildcard positions that are up for grabs here. You got 14 guys vying for those 2 wildcard positions to get in. Torquato, we saw him get one the year that made him into the mix. But you guys, Nicholi's already in, Fredriksson's already in, Nyquist's in, Peat is already in, but other guys are battling, and these are the guys battling it out, trying to get up in those last 2 wildcard spots and go to Joyride.
Yeah, if the clouds opened and it started pouring down rain right now, then Braden Barrett-Hay and Lukas Knopf would be rolling into those wild card positions for Joyride. But look, we got sunshine, so they're going to have to repeat on those great performances from 2 days ago in order to pull it off.
Well, there's a look at the start list that you're taking a look at right there, all the way through all the riders. And you can see Nicholi Rogatkin. He's the one that's going to be going last because he's the #1 qualifier. And then you see Max, #2. Braden was the #3, and Lukas, the #4. Well, it is all coming up for you. There's your start list for you right there. The Maxxis Slopestyle Open, the finals, 18 of the best, ready to throw down right here at Winter Park, Colorado for your Colorado Freeride Festival.
The Maxxis Slopestyle Open at Colorado Freeride Festival has been brought to you by Maxxis, descended from legends. Kind, ingredients you can see and pronounce. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. Giant, ride life, ride Giant. Once a year, the best slopestyle athletes in the world travel to the United States. Once a year, American riders get one opportunity to launch their professional career. One shot at receiving a coveted wild card to the Diamond Series, the Maxxis Slopestyle Open at Colorado Freeride Festival. Last year, Colorado Freeride Festival continued its tradition of being the birthplace of legends. In 2016, Emil Johansson took 3rd place, winning a Diamond Event wildcard and launching his career. This year is filled with no less drama. Colorado Freeride Festival is the only event in the Western Hemisphere where unproven neophytes come head-to-head with the titans of mountain biking. This year, it's the most diverse field ever, stacked with FMB champions, BMX legends, and up-and-coming amateurs. The Diamond Series Championship hangs in the balance, and with so much at stake, just one thing is for sure: no one will be holding anything back.
Maxxis Slopestyle Open, the finals, 18 riders in the mix, and that kind of gave me chicken skin right there watching that, Cam.
It just reminds me how much I love this sport. Watching that little highlight reel, getting us pumped for the finals. I know we both have goosebumps.
And now you know, your guys won it 2 different times. We've talked about that earlier in the show here, but being here, what goes through your mind? You're sitting up there, you're waiting for your turn to go. It's such a big event. It's the biggest gold event, and of course, in America. What goes through your mind up there?
I mean, a lot of the riders up there, this is a make or break moment for their career. As that highlight reel just demonstrated, so many riders have catapulted themselves from this event, and it's the only open on the tour where people from North America don't have to buy a plane ticket to Europe to go compete in slopestyle.
It's expensive over there.
And even young kids from Europe. We had Eric Fedko coming out of nowhere yesterday, qualifying. And I'm just as excited for those young guns as I am those top riders like Nicholi Rogatkin, Max Fredriksson, guys like Logan Peat, and then Paul Genovese trying to get back on the Diamond Series. So you have like 3 different categories of riders. Ones who are trying to maintain status and riders who are trying to just springboard themselves to the big shows.
Well, I like how you bring up Paul Genovese. I mean, qualifying 5th. That's very respectable when you're trying to come back and get into the Diamond Series again. So solid stuff out of him. But seeing Braden Barrett-Hay and then Lukas Knopf from Germany, wow, those guys were, you know, qualified 3 and 4. So they're the ones, they're really hungry for that wild card, as well as 12 other guys are hunting for those 2 wild card spots. 14.
Yeah, I know the wild card is definitely on the minds of all those riders who aren't pre-qualified for Joyride. And then the guys like Braden Barrett-Hay and Lukas Knopf, who would be in transfer positions if the results from qualifying were final. Now they're sitting up there going, all right, that was so tough in qualifying. Now I have to do it all over again because this is finals. Qualifying is just to set us up for today.
So when we talk about Nicholi Rogatkin, we talk about him for good reason. 3 different times he's got the podium here. He hasn't gotten first place. 2 big wins for him so far this year in slopestyle events, major slopestyle events. What's it going to take for Nicholi to do what he knows how to do? You say he has so much in the tank that he's not showing us. What's he going to throw down here, do you think, to try and come away with the win?
Well, if you notice from his qualifying run, he did a tuck no-hander on the dirt to dirt, the second to last feature. He obviously has more there, but knowing that he could kind of cruise that jump. I don't think he's going to cruise any single feature in these final runs. Nicholi Rogatkin, when the pressure's on, he shines. And mistakes can happen for any rider.
Sure. 2 runs.
And, you know, even Nicholi Rogatkin. But I know the prestige of this event in his mind, because it has so much sentimental value for him. He wants to win this, but there's a lot of people who want to take the rug out from under him and, you know, keep pushing that first win for him further and further away. So it's going to be a battle.
And the battle is on. 14 guys trying to get those last 2 wildcard spots to compete in the Diamond Series of FMB. And then you look at your 3rd, and you look at your 2nd and your 1st. Everyone's battling for those 2 as well. So it's not just the wildcard spots. They're battling, of course, for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And our first guy who's going to get the start at it today, Matt Dennis, who had a finish out there at the GoPro Mountain Games out there in Vail. 6th place for him out there, but he's done himself good, got himself in, and he qualified in that 18th spot. So he gets to go first today.
It's exciting. I'm so pumped to see him here because originally we were only going to be taking 16 into the finals. They changed that to 18, so that opened up the door for Matt Dennis. And we're going to see him drop in right now, Brad.
Here we go. Matt Dennis to start things off. Where are you at? Come on, Winter Park.
Hailing originally from Australia, he lives in Canada now. Kelowna, British Columbia, part of the bustling riding scene out of that town. And he's looking strong. This is a great way to start out the event for ourselves. A big 720 over rotating and sliding out. Tough break for Matt Dennis.
Matt Dennis, put your hands together. Winter Park, Colorado. Matt Dennis, always tough to be that first guy to come out of the gates right there. But Matt Dennis going down on that 7, so he'll look to try and improve. Head back up top. 2-run format does put your back against the wall. When you got a second run, you have to lay it down, don't you?
Without a doubt, all the pressure's on him for run number 2. And you spoke about pressure before we started this run. He was landing that 720 countless times in practice. We're going to see a replay of that right now. Comes off the lip nice. Just looked like maybe there's a little bit too much speed. Maybe those, those butterflies you feel on the top of the roll and inspire you to go a little bit too fast into a feature like that. But tough break for Matt Dennis. We'll see him back up there for run number 2.
And 23.7, he'll improve on that. And you got to also think, no one rode this course at all yesterday. We had the rain come in, so this course sat empty with tarps on it the whole entire day. So the last time these guys rode that course was 2 days ago in qualifying. But it's a new day right now. And this man, he qualified in the 17th spot. He got inside there, 19 years old, coming back from ACL surgery. He's in the mix. Here we go, doing it for Morpheus.
Liam Wallace out of British Columbia. A lot of great young talent out of British Columbia here today. Liam Wallace, another one of those riders who wasn't originally going to qualify until they changed it to 18 qualifiers. Looking real strong right now with that 360 tail up, carrying great speed into the Maxxis on-off box. Tail whips both ways, on and off of the on-off box. Great link. Judges are going to love that. What's he got for us off the Maxxis money booter? A straight backflip. So he crosses the finish line. A couple things to tune up for run number 2, but great to see him get one in the bag.
So Liam Wallace, his first run in, top to bottom. Taking a look at the replays here, Cam.
So 360 to start things off. That feature, 360 and that step down, that's what separates the men from the boys. Those drops are tough to trick. And another drop feature, that cannon log, getting the flat flip off of there, does not have a kicker on the end, so you really have to get behind the bike to initiate that rotation. So let's see, we've got tail whip to the right and tail whip to the left. The judges love the variety when you're able to do tricks both directions, especially when you link them back to back. Missing a trick on the monster dirt to dirt isn't going to help him, and a straight flip down there at the bottom is going to be something he's going to want to add something to as well. But great run to start things off for Liam Wallace.
Liam Wallace in that 17th spot just got in there. It was really tight between Reed Boggs, Liam Wallace, and Matt Dennis on qualifiers. Score coming in for Liam, that's going to be a 48 for him on run number 1. So he'll look to a second run to try and claim one of those 2 wild card spots available out here, or try to land on the podium, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st. Next up, Reed Boggs, another guy who's in one of those situations where he's trying to get a wild card as well. He's only one rider away from getting into Joyride. So a good showing here today could help his cause. And he is psyched and ready to go. 9th place CFF in 2015, doing it for Raceface. This is Reed Boggs out of the U.S.
It's been a busy season for Mr. Reed Boggs so far this 2017 season. Been all over the world riding the biggest slopestyle contest. Still trying to get into Joyride, so he needs a smooth run here. Oh, great amplitude on that LU 270 bar spin. Making it look real easy, flipping that up log. Now a front flip, we did not see that from him in qualifying. He's switching things up, Brad. Nice balance trick, an opposite 3 up and a fast plant 360 down. Flipping the dirt to dirt. What's he got to finish things off? A truck driver at the bottom. So
yeah.
a lot of improvements from his qualifying run.
And you had said that. Now I saw you and Reed kind of talking run strategy right there. He definitely changed up his game from the qualifiers.
Yeah, he's got so many tricks, so it becomes difficult to choose which ones to do. He's scored high enough to make it into the finals, but not by a huge margin. So flipping that cannon is something that scores well. Balancing that out with 3 and the kicker drop at the top. But that front flip is something that we did not see from him in qualifying. So taking himself out of his comfort zone. Now the opposite 3 was new. The fast plant 360, taking his foot off and using that to initiate the rotation. So creative tricks, well-balanced tricks, and different tricks from his qualifying run should mean a higher score today than what we saw from him on Friday.
Definitely. Did he throw the fast plant 3 in on qualifier, or was that something new he added today?
That's new, and you mentioned how I was talking to him before final started, and that's something that he was thinking about for run number 2. So cool to see him pushing it and getting that in run number 1.
And a 71 even for Reed Boggs. That's a good way to start right there. First run, full pull, top to bottom. Reed Boggs is going to claim a 71 on that one. Now we take a look up top. DJ Brandt, 23 years old, out of Grand Junction.
doing it for Mongoose. He is our next rider out here. And I want this place to absolutely light up for this guy to drop in for you next. Put your hands together. Let's hear it for DJ Brandt out of Grand Junction.
All right, DJ Brandt, the crowd always gets so loud for their Colorado native. We have such a huge crowd out here today. Big amplitude on that tail whip to tabletop. He's flipping that cannon log as well into the Powerade hip. What's he got for us? Catching that 360 tail whip early. Now going right in front of the crowd right now, the Maxxis on-off box. They get louder for this kid than anybody else in the field. They love to see their local boy do well. One last jump. DJ Brandt with the backflip tail whip, catching early and holding on.
Gets it right there. Let's hear it for the local boy out of Grand Junction. Come on, Winter Park. That's a good run. Let's take a look at the highlights here, Cam.
Well, it's 360 spinning to the left off the start feature, getting the combo there on the Trestle wall ride with the tail whip to tabletop. He's catching those tail whips really early. Now that's his regular direction. He's doing that 360 tail whip. So the start step down was an opposite 360. A tail whip up into a regular 360 down. Now I really want to watch this last jump. He catches his pedals really early, but I think he lands a little sideways, but holds on. No feet blowing off the pedals, doesn't lose traction right when it counts.
Well, let's see the score in, trying to beat the 71. So 78-7, run number one. DJ Brandt in the lead, 78-7.
Great score for DJ for run number one. We're getting close to those 80s, and we're only a few riders into the field so far.
And we take a look at a veteran up top now, next ready to go. He is 28 years old. He's been doing it in a big way. Always a top 10 threat for sure. He is out of Canada. Next up for you, it's Chewbacca. Mitch Chubby now dropping in. And here we go. Go time for Mitch Chubby as he drops in.
Well, Mitch Chubby, he's got something new for us already. Starting out with that backflip bar spin. Now, Mitch, he's been on the tour for so long. He's seen and done it all, been to all the biggest events. Holding on to that slight over rotation. Now, he was looking for a front flip on that jump, hoping that rear tire still holding on to the beat. An opposite 360 up and a regular down. Superman seat grab Indian air. One last trick for the crowd. That classic backflip tail from Mitch Chubby. Man, he's been on point getting those feet on the pedals. Every run in qualifying and run number one of the finals for him. Smooth top to bottom. Nicely done for Mitch Chubby right there. Run number one for him. 2-run format. Best run counts. Take a look here. Mitch starting things off. So can't explain how difficult it is to get a combo like a backflip bar spin on that step down. Those vertical drop features are way more difficult. So getting a truck driver, a 360 bar spin on another one of those difficult features, the cannon log. Now I know he wanted a front flip on that jump. If you don't land a feature absolutely perfect, your speed can be compromised into the next feature, but recovering well, getting the oppo 3 up, the regular 3 down, the seat grab Indian air, so good variety on his tricks, getting big flip combos like that backflip tail up, but also knowing that it's important to do tricks like that Superman seat grab Indian air to have good variety. Staying with it right there, Mitch Chubby, waiting to see the score for him. 78-7 is our top score. DJ Brandt in the top spot. Reed Boggs behind him with a 71, and a 64-7 is going to be the score for Mitch Chubby. So a very respectable score in there. And you know what? He had another couple tricks in there he wanted to try. And now we take a look at Jakob Wenzel. Our next guy to drop in for us. You look at what he's done. Third Colorado Freeride Festival back in 2014. Got a podium out there. A fourth at 26 tricks. And ninth top 10 finishes Swatch Rocket Air. Out of the Czech Republic, here we go. It's Jakob Wenzel time. Well, true international field of competitors out here in Colorado. From Czech Republic, getting that 360 tuck no-hander. Jakob Wenzel, huge amplitude on the Trestle wall ride. Now this guy, he's tasted success here a couple years ago, getting on the podium. You know, he wants to do that, but he also wants to get back onto the Diamond Series. Getting one of those wild cards would be huge from a downside 360 tail up, a flat drop flip down. He's really cranking things up here toward the bottom of the course. Great extension on the 3 table. The Maxxis money booter. It's going to be a flip toboggan to tuck no-hander.
And hand in the air, Jakob Wenzel, let's hear it for the Czech Republic, but for Jakob on that one. He's pretty happy with that. Look at some of these highlights here in the replays of Jakob.
So the big combos on the big features, that's what's going to score high. So taking the hands off in that 360 on the CFF drop, that's going to be something the judges love. Then here into the Powerade hip, an opposite 360 tuck no-hander. So those opposite tricks do not go unnoticed. Now a 360 downside tail up, that's going to score huge, especially linking it into that flat drop flip down. Great style on the 360 invert, and then a very unique trick. Putting his hand on the seat while being upside down, put his hand back on the bar before he takes him back off the bars for a no-hander to finish things off.
Jakob Wenzel wait for that score to come in. The top score of the day, DJ Brandt, almost in the 80s, as Cam was saying, 78.7 for Brandt. For the local boys, got to feel good being on top of the heap with that one. And look at this, not for long. An 84 for Jakob Wenzel. Hello to first place. And now we're seeing the scores creep into the 80s, not only just into the 80s, into the mid-80s right there with that 84.
Well, it's a perfect time to see this next guy then, isn't it?
A man that needs no introduction, but boy, are we going to give him one. Ryan Nyquist, 7th at Colorado Freeride Festival last year, 4th this year in Rotorua, a 5th place in France, 2nd place in Montpellier in 2016. That's his best finish in mountain biking, but this man, a legend in BMX, switching to the bigger bikes these days. And here he comes, a fixture on the FMB Diamond Series, dropping in. Get loud for Ryan Nyquist.
Oh, 360 double bar spin to start things off. Ryan Nyquist meaning business right here. This crowd, they always get loud for Ryan Nyquist, a guy who's been a big name in the sport before some of these riders were even born. A 720 bar spin! Huge improvement already. 360 bar spin to back, losing the handlebars. Oh man, that was going to be such a strong run from Ryan Nyquist. Let's hear it for him.
You guys got more in the tank. One more time for the legend, Ryan Nyquist, Winter Park.
Now the big question mark is, can you have enough speed starting from where he is to clear that drop? I've never seen anybody do that. Well, it looks like he's never seen anybody do it either. I'd say pedal hard, Ryan. Pedal and pop. Yeah.
Oh.
Always a showman. Ryan Nyquist doing it for the crowd. Big question mark. Is there enough speed? He's got it. No problem. Huge lofty 360 on the biggest jump of the course, and one for the crowd holding that backflip one-handed X up.
Style for miles. One more time for Ryan Nyquist. I've never seen anyone do that. That's amazing. The Maxxis on off box.
It kills you to see that run get thrown away.
Yeah.
Let's take a look back at some of those magic moments. A 360 double bar spin, not catching the bars in between those two bar spins. A 270 suicide no-hander. Nobody else doing that. And here's the biggest move of the run.
Right here, yeah.
720.
Bar
he
spin.
finds an opportunity to squeeze a bar spin in there somehow. And then the 360 bar spin to bar spin back, not getting the hand on. It's tough to trick that feature because there's not a lot of air time. It's a step up, so you're landing higher than what you're taking off from.
Well, like we said, I think it was earlier 2 days ago when we were doing the qual. Oh, that was the stylish right there, one from Ryan Nyquist. You said that what he likes to do is step up degree of difficulty, adding bar spins to tricks that he's already doing, right?
It's the Ryan Nyquist formula. Get a great strong run in the bag and then just add bar spins. Sometimes adding opposite bar spins, but definitely going to be a high-scoring run if he can get back up there and stomp it.
Anton Thelander now coming up. Another rider out of Sweden. 3rd place, Colorado Freeride Festival, Podium 2013. 4th in Joyride that very same year. 13th to the 15th in the last couple years out here. So looking to climb back up top. Here we go. Anton Thelander.
Anton Thelander, another rider out of Sweden, known for his precise style. His execution score on the judges' sheet is always a huge number. He's also got big combos, so what is he saving for the finals? 360 tail, we saw that in the qualifying, just as smooth as what we saw on Friday. Opposite 360 up, a flat flip down. Let's see if he's gonna up the ante on the last 2 jumps. A straight air, that's not gonna help him. And a straight backflip, so one to kind of dust the cobwebs off, but we'll see him back up there for run number 2. He's gotta finish that run strong.
Now we talk about trickable features. What is it, 7 total? Is that what it is in here? You got 1 wall ride, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, 7 features, 7 to 8 trickable features. But you got to have tricks on everything, don't you?
That's what's tough. All these riders have big tricks, but you got to have you know, the opposite version of that these days. So if you have a big Cork 720, it's common to see riders working on an opposite Cork 720 just to balance things out. So Anton Thielander, one of those riders who has a ton of tricks, he just needs to do them on every single jump. Something caused him to lose flow in that run, but we know he can get back up there and stomp it.
Well, lose a beat, you know, lose the rhythm on that one too. So he'll look for improvement on that. 55.3, 5th place for Anton. So Cleanlander is going to head back up top and put together another run for him. As we look to this next man, and a man that we didn't know much about until qualifiers, Eric Fedko now coming up out of Germany, doing for Battle Bikes, 19 years old, a motocross rider as well. And his 4th at Glenride, his best finish so far. Here we go, Eric Fedko dropping in.
This is what Colorado Freeride Festival is all about. This is why I get so excited to come here every year, seeing these new riders. Huge amplitude out of Eric Fedko, the German rider, looking to burst onto the scene and use Colorado Freeride Fest to do so. 360 tail up to bar spin. Huge combo out of the German rider. 360 tail whip up. Oh, the crowd is loving this young kid. The Maxxis money booter, what's it gonna be?
So stylish.
Huge whip. You say he rides motocross. Well, obviously that influence finding its way into his slopestyle run.
Yeah, that's not going to score you the biggest points, but that's going to get you some style points for sure for Eric Fedko, a guy just 19 years old.
So you mentioned earlier how flow is really important, and if you get off flow, it can really derail the train. So everybody out there who's watching, who likes to hop on their trail bike and go for a ride, picture this course as a trail. It's just a very difficult one with a lot of mandatory errors. So if you land a little less than ideal on any feature, it can make it tough to trick it. For his case in this one, it was just missing the no-hander on that backflip no-hander on the monster dirt to dirt. And I think he had speed for that last jump. It was just not the trick he wanted right above that, and it looks like he's not going to settle for anything but perfection.
Yeah, 59.7, 5th place right there. Fedko's going to have another shot at it. 59.7 is not going to get you up there in the top or get you the wild card. He knows that. So he'll put it all together on run number 2 for him. Next Mongoose rider up top now. We got Josh Hult ready to go. This man has been doing it for a long time on BMX, now on the big bikes. Dude Tour BMX champ back in 2009. First place at Andrew Taylor's Showdown, AT Showdown in 2016. 33 years young and qualified in that 9th spot. Here we go, Josh Hult.
Huge opportunity for Josh Hult, a guy who, like you said, transitioned from BMX bikes a few years ago. He's never made it all the way onto the Diamond Series. He has the tricks to pull it off, and this is his opportunity. Opposite tail whip off that cannon log, 360 downside tail whip. You're gonna have to be doing something opposite to even consider that trick. Backflip bar spin up, linking it. 2 more features. A guy not afraid to go big. What does he have for us? A double backflip, can he land it? Look at that, Josh Hult. That was a packed run, Brad.
Wow, top to bottom. Like you said, he's got the tricks to get up there in the Diamond Series, and he's showing them right here.
So not just 360 in the CFF drop, getting the 360 bar spin in there. We call that trick the truck driver. But mixing things up, getting great variety with the opposite tail whip off the cannon log, the 360 downside whip, a cool looking trick. Doing the tail whip the opposite way than what the 360 is rotating on. And then I was wondering, all right, is he gonna link this front flip tuck no-hander to double flip? And take a look at this double flip. At one point he spots his landing, opens up so that he doesn't over-rotate. That takes a lot of air awareness. We're gonna get some slow-mo replays.
Look at the height on the fronty though.
Great amplitude on that front flip no-hander, and great extension too, getting those hands far away from the handlebars.
And you see where he landed on a transition on the front flip. Perfect setup. He lands high up on the transitions, able to keep his speed for the double back. Let's check in with Lorette Nickel, 3rd member of our team, standing by. Lorette?
Brad J, thank you so much. Josh, amazing job out there. You told me earlier that you weren't concerned with the results, but with your run. So did you meet your expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. I really wanted to come out and stomp that clean. Yesterday I wasn't able to, or I guess in qualifying, it wasn't as clean as I wanted to, so I wanted to really clean it up today and just try to polish it up. Yeah, everything's got to be perfect in finals, so trying to keep it that way.
How critical was it for you to put down a strong first run?
Oh, really? It was a big deal for me just because, you know, I mean, once you get a good first run down, you can always try to step it up for your second run and try to hook some stuff that you're not positive is going to work, but you hope it does.
Yeah. Josh, great job. We'll see you run 2.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Guys?
Oh, nicely done. Josh Hult right there. And he's one of those guys who he wins qualifying so many different times. He qualifies up there top, but then sometimes in the finals gets a little bit, just kind of gets him at the end there. But having a good first run in the finals, you can see how stoked he was on that.
Josh Hult is the guy you want to see go into run number 2 with one solid in the bag because he's not afraid to send it. So run number 2 for him. That one's going to be really exciting.
And an 86 for Hult into the top spot. One more time for Josh Hult. So that's going to bump Jakob Wenzel now into that second spot. So Hult just dropping bombs right there with that one. So next up, a 20-year-old in the mix out of Michigan, guy that I didn't know too much about. But Cam, you're talking about David Lieb. What he's got to bring to the show?
Well, I've been researching this kid because I was watching him ride, and I'm going, who is this guy? David Lieb. Turns out he's from Michigan. Do a little research on him, and you see that he races downhill. He races dual slalom. He also spends a lot of time on a motocross bike. He comes from a BMX background. He used to compete on those bikes, and now looking like a slopestyle veteran in his first big slopestyle competition. David Lieb dropping in. 360 bar spin to start things off. Getting that tail whip to tabletop with even bigger extension on the tabletop than what we saw in qualifying. Now, nobody else is doing that. 360 downside tail up on the up log. So this guy riding so smooth, you would never know that he's a slopestyle rookie. Opposite whip up, bar spin down. Only guy doing a double tail up on that huge monster dirt to dirt. The Maxxis Money Booter, lofty 360. David Lieb, let's hear it for him. Now it'll be great to see what score he gets for that run. It's good to see him get a solid one in the bag. I know there's a couple things he can brush up, so let's analyze this replay. Now, this trick is going to be something that really helps his score. The 360 downside tail up. You see some riders doing them on the ideal trick features, but doing that on the New Belgium up log is really going to score high. Now, an opposite tail up, a bar spin down, and nobody else doing a double tail up on dirt to dirt either. So here in qualifying, we were seeing him click into a big 360 table. You know that's what he was looking for here in the finals, but nonetheless, a really strong run from the young David Lieb.
Yeah, one run in for him. 2-run format. Logan Peat coming up here, so we wait for David Lieb's score to come in. Best one we saw of the day. Josh Hult with that 86 so far. That's the biggest one. Wait for the score. Here it is. 73.3, fourth place right there. 73.3, and that's a good way to start. I mean, anything above 70s, Cam, would you agree that's kind of a good way to start on your first run?
Yeah, it always depends on what everybody else is doing, but those those 70s typically are sitting in the top 10.
Now Logan Peat ready to go. Logan Peat, 6th at the Colorado Freeride Festival last year. This year, 9th in Rotorua, 6th in the FMB 2016 rankings, and a 3rd place finish for him at Swat's Prime Line. From Canada, next up for you, drop it in, get loud for Logan Peat.
So Logan Peat, a guy known for being calm, cool, and collected, a mainstay on the Diamond Series, coming out here looking to get a podium spot. Now, calm off the course and on the course, broke an axle on his bike right before finals, so his own mechanic and his own run strategizer right now, seeing if he can put the pieces together. Big 360 down. A tuck no-hander on the monster dirt to dirt into the Maxxis Money Booter with a backflip tail up. Gotta love that cable cam. Wow, rodeo holding on to the bike, landing low and sideways. But like we said before, a guy who can keep composure. A lot of riders would have fallen right there.
Yeah, he just powered through it. Check out the replays here.
Opposite 360 down off the CFF drop. Not breaking into that trestle wall ride. That's what you need to do to be able to go that high above the top of that wall. Now an opposite 360 bar spin. It's tough to spin your unnatural direction. It's even tougher to put in a variation. A tail whip up on top of the Maxxis on-off box, a 360 down. Now you know he wanted something bigger than that tuck no-hander there, but with nice style, kicking out the back end before he puts his hands back on. But that flip whip, come on.
He lands at 90 degrees off and brings it right back around. All right, let's check in to Lorette Nichol, get a word with Logan Peat. Lorette?
Obviously very happy with your run. But before today's comp, you actually broke your front axle. So what did you have to do to get back on course?
Just a quick run to the bike shop and had my fingers crossed, worked out for me, and just got back in time for the train.
All right, well, how do you involve run 2?
Yeah, I got to clean that up. Wasn't feeling so smooth right off the bat, so yeah, I just want to get a smooth one top to bottom and hopefully add some stuff.
Okay, Logan, thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Guys?
Logan Peat right there, finishing it up. Look to a run score for him is a 72.3, so 5th place for Logan on that. And he knows he needs just a little bit of cleanup on that one, Cam.
Yeah, it's tough to go from fixing your bike. I think it was actually a shock bolt of some sort of pivot bolt. And so some of those parts can be hard to find. So, you know, keeping your head clear before dropping in. So now that he's got the bugs worked out, the adrenaline pumping, we'll see him for run number 2.
Well, the fans on hand, taking a look at it right now. There's your top 3, DJ Brandt, Jakob Wenzel, and Josh Hult, 1, 2, and 3. And that would be a big news if Brandt and Wenzel could finish like that. And those two guys, or Josh too, you look at Josh could end up having a wild card. Jakob could end up having a wild card if it was to end like this. But there's a few more guys to come that are going to be standing in the way of that one.
There's a lot of guys, but yeah, Josh Holt sitting with that 86. That's a really comfortable position to be in.
I think it was an 80 for him on qualifiers that got him in. Just over the 80 mark. So adding 6 more digits and stepping up the degree of difficulty on the run was a big thing for Josh Hult. And Josh Hult didn't take it easy yesterday. He rode all day. He was telling himself, maybe I should just take it easy. No, he didn't. He just rode all day.
Was he out there riding downhill?
Yeah, right. Him and Zach Lewis were crushing laps all day long.
I'd love to see that. Just taking advantage of being out here in beautiful Winter Park, Colorado. So many trails. You might as well spend a rainy down day ripping some berms.
Yeah, yesterday was a rain day. We weren't able to get that competition going, but today we are doing it. Griffin Paulson is going to be our next rider to go here. He is out of France. Another youngster, just 20 years old. So he, just getting word, Griffin Paulson, not a Frenchman, a Canadian. Well, could he be a French Canadian?
No, he's from way up there in Prince George, northern British Columbia. Not a huge riding scene out there, so amazing to see this kid, you know, doing what it takes to build his own training features and be on such a high level. This last jump is really where we're going to be watching him. Nice flip whip on the Powerade, hip landing smoother than he did in qualifying. Front flip up, we saw that in qualifying. Now he's building toward this last jump. He had a huge trick in qualies. Setting up with a huge front flip. Is he going to have the speed? A double backflip, can he pull it? Stomps it.
How did he power through that?
Coming up short on this front flip, you can see by about 8 inches. That just eliminates so much speed. So he's pedaling, trying to get as much momentum as he can muster into that last jump, still being able to throw that backflip. That shows that this kid has huge determination.
Yeah, you saw that. Well, it's about 7 or 8 pedal strokes he got in between the monster dirt to the Maxxis money booter. He was just trying to keep that speed going. So he stayed on his bike all the way down. And remember, you know, he qualified 6th. So that was, he had some serious riding going on when he did that on just 2 days ago.
So in qualifying, he had great speed going into that last jump. He did a double backflip with a no-hander, which is unheard of for a qualifying round. And usually a double flip, you need absolutely perfect speed to be able to pull that off. So the fact that he was able to case, pedal, and make that double flip, if he has speed for run number 2, you can expect to see him take those hands off.
Oh, yeah, you got to think that too as well. Yeah, so if he can clean that up, monster dirt to dirt, not case that landing, land high up on that transition, and keep that speed to the final money booter.
As we get a chance to review this replay, we're noticing that he had good amplitude off that CFF drop, popping that feature, and then here, this flip whip, it was on a really interesting axis, almost like a flat spin backflip tail whip. Then huge amplitude again on that front flip. So here's where things were less than ideal. Staring at the land on that front flip, good style, but losing speed coming up short. And I mean, we can say it time and time again, but it's very impressive to see him double flip that last jump with less than ideal speed.
So maybe if Griffin can get down on the second and final run to that final Maxxis money booter and have the speed he needs, look for him to take his hands off on that double backy right there for him, as he did in qualifying. But the degree of difficulty as far as progression-wise, dudes are stepping up in qualifiers, that's for sure. Speaking of stepping up, Paul Genovese is looking to step up. Qualified 5th with a heavy-hitting run 2 days ago. 5th at the CFF 2014. That man right there, Paul Genovese, ready to go.
and fired up for it right now. And looks relaxed up there, doing it for Fox, doing it for Mongoose. Number 5 qualifier. Put your hands together for Paul Genovese next.
So Paul Genovese is 100% one of the top slopestyle riders in the world, working on battling his way back into the Diamond Series. And watch how precise he is with all of his tricks, catching that backflip bar spin early out of Fernie, British Columbia. 2 bar spins, going high on that Trestle wall ride. An opposite tail whip on the New Belgium uplog. This kid lives and trains with Brandon Semenuk and Logan Peat. So riding features like this, he's one of the few riders who gets to do that in his own time. Looking for the combo on the monster dirt to dirt. Last jump, backflip, Superman seat grab. I love the extension Paul Genovese gets on that backflip Superman seat grab.
With Braden, for sure it's Braden, right? So after Knopf's run or his replay? After his score.
Let's take a look back, replay of this run. Backflip bar spin to start things off the step down. Big amplitude squeezing 2 bar spins out on that Trestle wall ride. And believe it or not, that was an opposite tail. What makes it look so easy. Then balancing it out right on the next feature with a regular double tail up, getting good variety with that. Superman seat grab, Indian air up, a 360 down. Looks like he was going for a backflip bar spin to tuck no hander. Plenty of airtime to do so, so he'll get that run number 2. But this backflip Superman seat grab, only guy in the field doing that trick and extending it as far as his little legs will carry him.
His little legs. Not a very tall guy.
Well, they're strong now that he rehabbed that one broken leg after last season. It's tough to make your way back onto the Diamond Series, but that run, it could do it for him. Let's see what the score is.
So waiting for the score, Paul Genovese. That score to come in. Still right now the top score of the day, Josh Hult, 86. And Genovese with an 81.7. Another good score in the 80s. So it looks like 3 scores in the 80s now. You got Josh Hult in the number 1 spot, Jakob Wenzel, and then Paul Genovese. There's your 1, 2, 3 as Lukas Knopf is ready to go. German rider, 9th at CFF in 2016. But your number 4 qualifier against some big names. Here we go. Lukas Knopf from Germany. First run for him.
Lukas Knopf packed in a lot of huge combinations in his qualifying run. We're going to see if he can repeat on that. The only guy doing a huge flare on that Trestle wall ride. Now into the Powerade hip. What's he got for us? 360 tuck no-hander. He's looking for another combo on that. You're going to have to settle for the 360 tuck no-hander. A backflip up into the 360 bar spin down. One of 2 German riders in our field. Front flip tuck no-hander. Bar spin to tail. A great way to stomp that run through the finish line for Lukas Knopf.
Lukas Knopf, 9th CFF just last year, a top 10 finish, but looking to improve on that. And especially when you qualify 4th with some big banging tricks that you know you can get up there. So we wait for that score. Check the replays here. Lukas going to work.
So a tail whip to start things off. It's really tough to tail whip those drop features. You're really at the mercy of the wind. But getting good tricks on all the drops, like a truck driver on that New Belgium uplog. He's looking for a 360 tuck no-hander to bar spin. Looked like he over-rotated a little bit, wasn't able to squeeze in the last bar spin. He was doing a flip tuck up onto there, so a couple of things for him to improve. But the front flip tuck no-hander is a great combo, and another great combo to finish things off, the bar spin to tail whip.
And so what is going to be the score for Lukas? Can he crown him up into the 80s right there? High 70s, mid 80s. It's up to the judges at this point. Lukas Knopf, one of 2 German competitors, as Cam was saying, competing here in the finals. 18 of the top riders here battling it out for 2 wild card spots and the podium. Score coming in 76.7, so top 5, 76.7. All right, well, earlier we got Braden Barrett-Hay coming up, and Lorette and Nichol had a chance to catch up with Braden, and here's what happened.
Thank you so much. Guys, Braden Barrett-Hay, since 2013, has been injury plagued. He's been trying to get back here for so long, and then he qualifies 3rd, and then we have a rain delay. So what is that personal stress like for you?
Yeah, definitely it's been just driving me insane. Like, Red Bull Joyride is the event that's the dream event, and I was in it and haven't been able to get back in now for like 3 years, so sitting on that wild card spot and having to think about it all day while it's raining outside is like torture. And then not knowing, am I riding, am I not? But thankfully we've got some nice weather and it looks like it's going to go down. So.
And how's this course running?
The course feels pretty good. Earlier it was a bit slippery in a few spots, but it's all drying up. So by the time we do finals, I think it'll be like perfect.
Best of luck. Fingers crossed for you.
Well, there you go. Braden Barrett-Hay right there caught up to him. Lorette caught up to him earlier today, and he was just chomping at the bit to get in this thing. Had to sit all day on a rain day and not be able to compete. And he's in one of those spots right now. If he could hold on and get a good score here, he could come away with a wild card. Here we go. Braden Barrett-Hay from Canada doing it for Mongoose.
Out of Ontario, the flat plains of Ontario, takes a lot of dedication to build a training ground out there, but this kid did it. And his run in qualifying was an absolute dream run. Let's see if he can get his huge combo on this Powerade hip. 360 C grab, Indian air, going for the tuck no hander. Gonna have to wait for the replay to see if he got his hands off. But an opposite 360 tuck no hander up, regular 3 down. Now he's looking for the backflip double tail up on the last jump. Can he stomp it? Backflip, double tail, feet to pedals. Oh, just sliding out.
Come on. Oh, put your hands together for Braden Barrett-Hay. Come on, Winter Park. That one just a little too much mustard on the hot dog at the bottom of that one, but take a look at this banging upper section for Braden Barrett-Hay.
Oh, his qualifying run on Friday was an absolute dream run, stomping tricks like that 360 C grab Indian air to tuck no hander. Let's see if he got his hands off here. 360 got the Indian air. Looks like he tucked the bars, but the hands didn't come off. So opposite 360 tuck no hander up, great balanced run there, doing the regular 3 down, the flip tuck no hander on the dirt to dirt, and then here's where things went wrong. The trick looked perfect, but landed just a little bit sideways on that backflip double tail up. Get this great slow motion cable cam replay. Feet to pedals, but just a little bit, hardly even sideways on the landing, but that front tire lost traction first, caused the rear wheel to skip out and wasn't able to monster truck it like we saw Logan Peat do just a few runs ago.
Well, look for him. I mean, if he can land like he did in that qualifying run that got him into that top 3 position, watch out for this man when it comes to a second and final run for Braden Barrett-Hay, the 25-year-old. And this brings us to our next 2 competitors here in run number 1 of the 2-run format. And this man right here on the comeback, Max Fredriksson, 4th place in 2015 out here. 3rd place at Joyride last year. Injuries set him back, but he's back down, ready to do it.
A double tail to start things off. Only guy in the finals field today doing that bar spin to bar spin back on the Trestle wall ride, making the backflip look casual on that New Belgium up log. A little bit of over rotation, but holding on, keeping his upper body squared. Opposite 360 bar spin to bar spin back, linking it into the regular 360 bar spin. There it is, backflip tail, only guy doing it on that long dirt to dirt feature, finishing off with a backflip bar spin. So casual, but he packed so much into that run.
So let's hear it for Max Fredriksson right there on the comeback. Good to see him back on the bike, and check the replays of this run.
So today in practice, he was saying he was feeling that collarbone on some of these drop features. So you saw him do the double tail up on that CFF drop, blow his foot off the pedal just barely, but he's feeling that collarbone. He's got a plate and 7 screws in there. But you know, a guy who feeds off of adrenaline, so pushing through the pain, 360 bar spin to bar spin back, going up there this opposite direction.
Oh, perfect.
And finishing things off with a really lofty backflip bar spin. I know he has more in the tank, but that's going to be a good placeholder score in run number 1 for him.
I like that. You know, yeah, he definitely has more in the tank, too. Coming back from that collarbone injury, been kind of a rough road for him, but solid stuff. Number 2 qualifier just 2 days ago. He's got the tricks, just needs probably just a little more cleanup on that, and he can get up there. But right now, you're looking at the numbers. It's an 86 is what you're trying to beat with Josh Hult at that point.
Yeah, watching Max Fredriksson right now, you would never know that he's nursing a little bit of pain in that collarbone, looking so smooth. That typical Swedish style we see, the feet glued to those pedals early, no head bob on the landings.
So what is the score for Max Fredriksson? Nicholi Rogatkin on the way for you in just a little bit. Our number 1 qualifier. Chemical Brad J out here, your Maxxis Slopestyle Open, the finals underway.
Fredriksson's score is an 87-3 right there.
Into the lead, look at that.
87-3, taking over the top spot right there. Well, don't call it a comeback because he is here and he can drop big scores just like that one. Next up, let's talk about this man. He made a name for himself, 2013. No one really knew much about him. He came out 3 years later. He's the FMB Diamond Series winner. He's been in this competition many years, but has not won it. He's got 3 podiums, but no first place podiums. He's already got 2 big wins in this year, and I want everyone here in Winter Park to put your hands together out of the USA for Nicholi Rogatkin.
Nicholi Rogatkin dropping in. The top step of the podium has been elusive for him the past few years. He has everything it takes to do it. Top qualifier. Alley-oop 270 tail up into the trestle wall ride. Up in the ante with a double tail this time off the New Belgium up log. Cash rolling the Powerade hip. He's already improved upon his first place qualifying score. Huge boost on the front flip up, the 3 down. What are we gonna see on the monster dirt to dirt? Great extension on the tuck no-hander. Last jump, the 1080, and he stops
the twister at the end, the 1080 for Nicholi Rogatkin. Looking for his first win at a Colorado Freeride Festival, and that's his first run. Wow.
What a run for Nicholi Rogatkin.
Oh my goodness. We're taking a look here at the replays of Nicholi.
The backflip bar spin off the step down, starting strong. Really unique trick doing that alley-oop 270 tail whip. Nicholi Rogatkin slipped the pedal on the straight single whip on that jump in qualies, but up in the ante, getting the feet on the pedals with a double tail up on the New Belgium up log. For a minute, I thought he front flipped a little bit too far onto that on-off box, but still hung on in 3 down, but this was the biggest trick in the race.
Bam!
He calls it the twister. It's basically the same as that cash roll you saw on the Powerade hit, but he's adding another 360 onto it. Look how early he opened up. Man, he even over-rotated on that 1080. The biggest rotation anybody's doing in this sport. And man, it almost looks like he has room for more in there.
Let's see if we can get a word with Nicholi with Lorette down there in the mix. Lorette?
Thank you, guys. Nicholi, on that last hit, your eyes, as soon as you landed, were as big as Frisbees. Were you a little bit surprised that not surprised that you landed it? You knew you were going to do that, but hold it out?
I think the facial expression has to do with, the amount of pressure we have up top, and to kind of conquer that by the bottom and hear the fans cheering and supporting. And yeah, a little bit over-rotated for me there, but yeah, such a relief to stomp it and to get that first run out of the way.
Well, what's on your checklist to accomplish in each of your 2 runs?
The goal every day is kind of to get the run down the hill like Josh Hult was talking about. We don't really care about the scores when we're on top. We just want to make it top to bottom with our bangers. And yeah, that happened for me in the first one. So got to think about what I can step up and yeah, see what I can do.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys?
Man, sometimes I don't think it's, thanks a lot, Lorette. It's not best of luck with him. It's all about best of skill because that dude has some serious skills. And here we go. A 91. Say hello to your new leader, Nicholi Rogatkin. First score in the 90s. Just like that in the hunt for his first ever Colorado Freeride Festival win, Cam.
Whoa, man. The riders are going to have to step up to contend with that. This guy has tricks that nobody else can do, and he's over-rotating that 1080. So impressive. Does anybody have what it takes to back him into a corner? I can't wait to see these second runs.
Well, that's the thing. When he's the last guy to go, so either he's going to play catch-up to try and beat someone, or he's just going to be happy taking that first big win. There's a look at it right there. You got Josh Hult. He would be the guy to grab one of those wild cards. So would Jakob Wenzel in there. But then you got Max Fredriksson, number 2, and Nicholi Rogatkin. If it was to end right now, Josh Hult, Jakob would grab wild cards. And Josh would not only do that, he'd land a spot on the podium as well.
How about the Colorado local, though? He is a bit loco. But DJ Brandt sitting in 6th place against guys from all over the world. It's this home crowd. I'm sure it's pulling for him.
Well, and they know, too, because they are so fired up to see DJ drop in that they absolutely bring their A game too as spectators. All right, well, it's your Maxxis Slopestyle Open, the finals. 18 riders have taken 18 runs. We're going to stack them and rack them again, and we're going to send them back down for their second and final run. Stay with us. Second run's coming up, your Maxxis Slopestyle Open finals.
The Maxxis Slopestyle Open at Colorado Freeride Festival has been brought to you by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. GoPro. Be a hero. New Belgium. Home of Fat Tire Belgian Style Ale. The American craft beer icon.
I've been mountain biking for almost a year now. It's really fun. There's a lot of suspension in your bike and it's really fun to bounce around. There's a lot of stuff hidden in the trails, like mini ramps and jumps and wooden features. If you're a kid, you should mountain bike. It's a lot of fun. I want to mountain bike till I'm 50. I'm Indy, and I'm 7 years old, and I love to mountain bike.
Definitely worth the wait when you think about it. We got rained out yesterday. Yesterday was supposed to be our scheduled start time for the finals yesterday. We weren't able to do it because of the rain, so everybody kind of sat around and waited for today, but not disappointing today, huh, Cam?
Slopestyle Sunday, you know, give everybody a chance to rest on Saturday, but the crowd out here today, super impressive. So I think it's a good thing, man. Gave all the riders a chance to build up their special power.
So we go back to the top of the order, and then we start things all over again to try and shake up the mix. 2 wild cards are up for grabs for your FMB Diamond Series, and, of course, the Podium 3, 2, and 1. And we go start things off once again with Matt Dennis. And I'd said earlier 6th at the GoPro Mountain Games for him, and he's dropping in right now. Here comes Matt Dennis.
Kid from Fernie, British Columbia, going big to start things off with a backflip bar spin. This guy, a close riding buddy to Paul Genovese. Truck driver off the up log, and see if he can get that 720. All right, that's what he crashed on in run number 1. He stomped it here. So can he hold it together here in run number 2? Oppo 3 up, regular 3 down, carrying good speed into the dirt to dirt. Maxxis money booter, what's it gonna be? Backflip, double bar spin for Matt Dennis, landing all the way at the bottom.
Wow. Taking that, like you said, to the bottom. Let's hear it for Matt Dennis. Run number 2 in the books for that man.
Oh, Matt Dennis, this kid has such an aggressive riding style. Trains out there in Fernie, British Columbia. They have some good features to work on. Their tricks, a truck driver off the cannon log. You love to see those big combos, but if you can drop a 720 into the middle of your run, you're really building up that momentum to finish strong. An opposite 360 up on top of the Maxxis on-off box, a regular 360 down, showing that he's got the ambidextrous abilities, and then squeezing out every last second of airtime, going to the flat bottom of the landing with that backflip double bar spin.
Yeah, definitely taking that thing to the bottom right there.
Ride or die.
Let's see what that is going to be for him. Matt Dennis trying to climb up there and looking for one of those wild card spots or a chance to get on the podium. And that's what it's all about out here today.
It looks like Matt Dennis is doing the math right there, not opting for a detangler. He's just counting winds on his brake lever.
And so score coming in, 66.7 for him. 12th place. Let's hear it for Matt Dennis. He's done for the day out there in 12th.
What a charger. That flat landing, man, holding on to that's got to be tough.
Now we take a look at Liam Wallace is ready to go. Liam Wallace is going to need a big one right here. 19 years old. We're going to be seeing him for some time to come now, being just 19 years old. Making a name for himself, getting in that 17 spot. And he is set to go out here
For your Maxxis Slopestyle Open, the finals, 18 riders. We're in our second runs. And our second competitor here with the second runs, this is Liam Wallace.
Liam Wallace, young rider, looking for his big breakout. He's been progressing a little by little every single year. A 360 toboggan on the step down. Unique combination, big amplitude on the wall ride into the flat flip. There we go, 360 tail up, catching early. Can't miss this kid on course with his bright colors. Opposite tail up, regular tail up down. A huge link on that feature. Oh, missing the combo on the dirt to dirt, but he's got an opportunity to make up for it. Dipping the nose on that flat 360.
And that is Liam Wallace. Let's hear it for Liam Wallace. In it for Morpheus right there, coming back from ACL surgery. It's been a tough road for him.
Yeah, you can see him wearing that knee brace right there. Sometimes it can be tough to adapt all your tricks to that new injury. So running that knee brace can get in the way when you're pinching the seat and stuff, but does not seem to be slowing him down. I love how he corks out the flip on that New Belgium uplog. And doing a tough combo like a 3-whip and catching it early, that's always rewarded by the judges. An opposite tail up. If you slip pedals on that opposite tail up, you're not going to have your bearings for the regular tail up down. So missing the trick on that monster dirt to dirt is going to hurt him, but great amplitude on everything else for Liam Wallace.
And where's the score going to be for Liam Wallace? 48 run number 1, run number 2, 54 for him. That's how that's going to play out. And now we go back up top. And take a look at Reed Boggs now in 10th place, a top 10 for him. He's one of those guys trying to earn a spot too as well. Run number 1, a 71 for him. And here we go. It's Reed Boggs time.
So Reed Boggs living down there in Hurricane, Utah, the home of the Red Bull Rampage, with a strong run in the bag already. So now an opportunity to improve upon that here in run number 2. Looking smooth. What's he going to choose on the power right hip? A front flip tuck no-hander this time. Getting the variation up in the ante. Opposite 360 up. With the regular 360 down. Now I know he's looking for something big on these last 2 jumps. Can he get the huge cork 7 on the bottom? Over rotating. Oh, tough break for Reed Boggs. He was talking about that trick earlier, decided to play it safe in run number 1, and good thing he did, because looks like he had too much distance and a little bit too much rotation on the flip portion of that backflip 360.
You definitely can see he's visibly hurting on that one. Let's hear it for Reed Boggs. Give it up for him right here. Yeah, but you know, every position he can improve on, and being in 10th, that's still a good opportunity for him to get the points he needs.
He's been so consistent all season. You see a lot of riders these days either focusing on the downhill bike, big mountain free ride, or focusing on slopestyle. Reed is a guy who's split his focus between both of those disciplines, and very, very strong at both of them. A couple top 10 so far this season. And that front flip tuck no-hander, we haven't been seeing him throw that out at the contest. So progressing every single event, and a good strategizer as well, getting a strong run in the bag in run number 1, and then rolling the dice from run number 2 with that cork 720. And luckily he had a good score to fall back on, because with a crash like that, he's not going to improve upon his score. But as you can see, if he went a little bit slower into that jump or just rotated a little bit less, he would have landed it, because the trick was looking great. It was just a little bit too much sauce.
Yeah, a little too much speed going into that. So for him, obviously run number 1, that's going to be the score. So top 10 right now for Reed Boggs. And like I said, every point counts for him, man. He's only 1 away from getting into Joyride. So that's what he needs to do. And currently in 6th place right now, you got DJ Brandt, the local boy, ready to go. And I know this place is going to erupt when he drops in, because right now being in 6th is a good, solid position. Just needs to add maybe a couple more, clean things up, maybe step up degree of difficulty just a little bit more. But here he comes. Get loud at the Grand Junction for DJ Brandt.
Well, he's a crowd favorite, not only just because he's from Colorado, but he's a showman. Huge amplitude. Now we started this run out with that opposite 360. That'll score high. Flipping that New Belgium uplog. He's got combos on this one. 360 double tail whip.
Wow.
He had it in qualifying. He's got it again now when it counts the most in run number 2. Can he finish strong for the Winter Park crowd? Off axis barrel roll on the dirt to dirt.
One more.
Into the final jump, backflip tail whip. Perfect landing.
DJ Brandt rolling away in style. Let's hear it for DJ Brandt. Come on, Winter Park.
So fun to watch him ride his bike.
Oh man, he makes that opposite 360 look so effortless. Hard to tell which direction he's spinning because he's so comfortable going that opposite way. It's really tough to spin opposite off that step down feature. And it's also tough to squeeze 2 tail whips into your regular 360. Really nothing to improve upon on this run. Everything was executed with precision. That corked out rotation on that flip, it's hard to land those straight, but he does it. And even smoother on the landing for that backflip tail whip. A perfect run for DJ Brandt.
Now it comes down to the score situation for him. Where does he go with this in 6th? 78.7 was the score that he had on run number 1. So trying to beat that score. And run number 2, an 80 into 6. He stays in that 6th spot with an 80. So improves a little bit, but stays in 6th.
And this kid really has what it takes. Can't wait to see where he can go with his career.
Next up, man, I'm talking about an OG when it comes to slopestyle. 28 years old, always a top 10 threat. OG slopestyle veteran. Next up, it's Mitch Chuby.
All right, Mitch Chuby getting set to drop in. He's been looking strong all week. This guy, a true veteran on the circuit. Backflip bar spin on the step down. He's done it all. He's had high finishes at some of the biggest events in the world. He's had injuries he's had to overcome. And right now, definitely looking the strongest I've ever seen him. Front flipping the power 8 hip, going a little bit long, but holding on. He's got speed, enough for an opposite 360 into the Maxxis on-off. Balancing it out with the regular 360 down. C-grub, Indian air. Now he's going to be going for that backflip tail, but he adds another tail up to it and can't stay on. Whoa. Mitch Chuby, the veteran competitor, knowing that he had to step outside of his comfort zone. Let's hear it for Mitch Chuby, Winter Park, Colorado. Yeah, Mitch Chuby doing the tough tricks on the tough features. The backflip bar spin on the step down to start the run. The truck driver, you can barely see that bar spin. He does it so fast. Then here's where he landed long. The front flip basically touching down at the lower half of that landing. But opposite 360 up, regular 360 down. Now you know the only thing on his mind at this point is, can I land this backflip double tail up? Decides to go for it, but comes around, misses those pedals, takes a pretty big hit. But Mitch Chuby, he's no stranger to all the adversity you experience in the world of slopestyle. This guy can crash with the best of them. He always gets back up. Way to go for it, Mitch.
Well, let's hear it for Mitch Chuby out here one more time now. Trying to lock that in. The 64.7 is what he's going to end with. And that'll do it for him. But I'll tell you what, always a pleasure to watch him. I think he gets better with age.
Yeah,
he's like
he's
wine.
looking more and more polished now at the ripe age of 28.
So there you go now. Nicholi Rogatkin, Max Fredriksson 1 and 2, Josh Hult 3, and Josh Hult in that 3rd spot, Jakob Wenzel in that 4th spot, and then Paul Genovese and DJ Brandt. Those 4 from Josh Hult to DJ Brandt, they're battling for those final 2 wildcard spots right there. And if it was to end now, Josh Hult and Jakob would get it. But these guys still got one more run to go. There's the rest of the crew, and these guys looking to try and improve their scores with a chance to get up in there. Speaking of Jakob Wenzel, he's a guy that's coming up here in just a moment.
So no changes to the leaderboard, but this guy right here definitely can threaten those top 3 spots.
Well, with an 84, Cam, that's a good point. He's got an 84 now. He really needs to add just a couple more points to that just to give him some breathing room so he knows he can get that wild card spot. He's already going to be in Whistler coming up. Let's see what he can do here. Jakob Wenzel, Czech Republic, 2nd and final run.
Well, that first run was so solid. He's going to have to really dig deep to find more points to squeeze him out of this course. Starting out the same as what got him that great score in run number 1. There we go. Bigger extension this time on the opposite 360 tuck no-hander. 360 downside whip up, even smoother. So it looks like he's doing the same tricks, but landing them with even more precision. Ooh, 360 bar spin to tabletop, a new combo. Oh, man, after all of that, missing the combo on the last jump.
That's a tough one right there. You know he wanted it, but he's still in good position. Let's hear it for Jakob Wenzel out of the Czech Republic. I don't think it's going to beat his 84.
So Jakob was spending a lot of time talking to the judges this morning, finding out, all right, what do I need to do to improve my score? And they were saying, you know what, you need to be even more precise with all your tricks and get even bigger extensions. So he's obviously taking notes. That 360 tuck no hander is opposite direction, getting the hands off huge, having the nose low. Downside 360 tail up to flat flip off. Really tough 2 tricks to link together, and that was a new one he did not have in run number 1. But that big combo that he's been ending with, the backflip toboggan to tuck no hander, that's what he needed to finish off that run. But tough tricks are hard to repeat. And just bobbling a little bit there for Jakob Wenzel.
Well, once again, he's still in a good position with that 84, so it's going to take someone else to beat that 84 because he's in a wild card spot right now.
Look at that, still getting used to the new hairdo. I think he just tried to flip his hair. It was about 2 feet longer at the last event.
And run number 1, the 84. He's keeping that. He's in 4th spot right there. If he can stay right there in 4th, that man is going to come away with the wild card spot. We'll see him at the Joyride for sure. Oh, man, I'm glad to be able to see this guy go. Ryan Nyquist. He could be the X factor here because he didn't have that complete run top to bottom, and this could be the chance he needs to get that complete run in. So coming up 7th last year here at Colorado Freeride Festival, earlier in March, 4th in Rotorua, 5th in France, ready to drop in. BMX legend out of the U.S., please, warm round of applause for Ryan Nyquist.
Oh, we got a peek at his dream run, about 50% completed in run number 1. Everybody's pulling for him. Ryan Nyquist dropping in. 360, no catch, double bar spin, absolutely perfect landing. Into that alley-oop 270, suicide no-hander. Getting that truck driver off the New Belgium uplog. Can he get the 720 bar spin? He stomps it twice in a row. Here's where he messed up run number 1. He needs to get this 360 bar to bar back. He does. A 360 down into the monster dirt to dirt. 360 one-handed X up. Has all of his speed for the Maxxis money booter. Backflip one-handed X up. Huge run for Ryan Nyquist.
Never get tired of seeing that man ride. Let's hear it for Ryan Nyquist. Pressure on, back against the wall. Falls on the first run, but coming out and nailing the second one.
That was huge. I can't wait to go back to the replays. 360 double bar spin, just flinging the bars. A lot of riders catching the bars in between the 2 bar spins, but not Ryan Nyquist. We talked about his formula for success, get a good run in the bag and then just add more bar spins. So chucking the bar spin in that 720. Now here's where the train came off the tracks in run number 1, but stomps it here in run number 2. And look at the extension on the one-handed X-ups, the 360 version on the dirt to dirt, the backflip version on the Maxxis money booter, and then huge celebration into the finish line. Look at that. An X-up is when you have your bars completely backwards. Ryan Nyquist goes past the 180 point. Judges take note. That was huge extension.
Ryan Nyquist. Let's see what the score is for him on this one.
He's stoked.
He's giving thumbs up. He'll be competing at Joyride. He's not one of the guys hunting for those wildcard spots because he's already earned himself a spot in there. But you know he's trying to get something going on the podium. Let's check in with Lorette Nickel and see how Mr. Ryan Nyquist is feeling.
Well, run number 1 definitely didn't go as you had planned. Really? What happened up there?
I felt like it was perfect. I totally planned on sliding out and almost falling off the top. I mean, is that not okay to plan a run like that?
Drama.
Well, I loved how you finished it strong. So you told me earlier that you were working on some personal goals, some weird things. Were you able to accomplish that?
No, I was kind of hoping I would stop my first run and be able to play around a little bit, but that didn't happen. So I'll just keep those ones in the pocket, maybe work on them a little bit in the off season. But I just try to get creative. I like standing out and doing different stuff and different styles. So. It's always, the mind's always brewing. Especially yesterday, we had a whole day off, just sitting in the rain. I was just like, I wonder if you could do this. So yeah, it's fun to brainstorm, but sometimes you get here and then all of a sudden, you kind of tense up a little bit when you actually see what you're supposed to do it on. So I was like, all right, I'll go home and try it.
All right. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Guys?
I never get tired of watching that man right there, Ryan Nyquist. What is the score going to be for Mr. Ryan Nyquist? And run number 2, 82.3, 5th place for Ryan Nyquist. A lot of judges in the crowd, but only 3 getting paid. Now we go back up top. Anton Thelander coming up next. 55.3. Now, he had trouble on that first run, so I'm waiting to see him get that clean run because
He's been on the podium here before, Cam.
Yeah, and it's pretty rare to see him mess up. So let's see if we get to see that classic Anton Thielander clean landing style. You coined the nickname for him, Clean Lander, years ago. He never disappoints. 360 bar spin, landing smooth on the up log into the 360 tail whip, making it look casual. Out of Sweden, such a strong contingent of riders, always making it a traditional trip for them to make it over here to Colorado for the Freeride Festival. And Anton Thielander, a guy who's been on the podium before, so smooth and comfortable out here.
It's not even fair. The hashtag him Cleanlander for a good reason. You watch his landings in the replay here. Watch his monster dirt-to-dirt landing, his Maxxis money booter landing when we get to him.
Yeah, you're seeing a handful of guys do backflip bar spins off that thing, but Anton Thielander always kind of puts his own little flair onto it, corking out his head a little bit. And this 360 tail whip coming up on this Powerade hip. Take a look at how early his feet get on the pedals, and he extends his arm out, just savoring all the moments of airtime. That's an opposite 360 up, linking it to the flat flip down, opening up early because he had such efficient initiation of that rotation. In the last jump, the backflip tail whip. Man, you could not actually nitpick that run on any of the features. Everything stomped with precision. There's a reason you gave him that nickname.
Yeah, Cleanlander definitely describes what Anton is all about, especially all of his landings, stomped his landings. That's what he needed to do, and comes out here swinging on run number 2 for him. Third place in 2013. That was a big year for him. That's also when he got 4th at Joyride. Run number 2 is going to check in. And 68.7 for him, so 13th, 68.7. And now we go back up top to Eric Fedko from Germany, the 19-year-old. Now, we saw him on that last. It was the Maxxis money booter where he didn't get the trick he wanted. He just threw the whip at the end. So you got to think if he can get this run top to bottom, it's going to be a good one. Here we go.
He had me wishing he was just going to go for his trick down there, but wow, backflip double bar spin to start things off. He knows that this is his last opportunity to really launch his career. A 360 double bar spin. His last opportunity today, I should say. 360 tail whip, catching early. This kid wants to really make a name for himself. Opposite tail whip up, 360 down. Now he needs to finish strong. He threw in the towel early in run number 1. What does he have for us on the Maxxis money booter? Backflip tail whip, smooth landing, strong run for Eric Fedko out of Germany. So it's up to the judges now to decide how much to reward things like that backflip double bar spin. Tough to squeeze all those tricks into the dropping nature of that CFF start feature, a 360 double bar spin and then this 360 tail up. I love how he catches it early and really bones out the arms. They're gonna love the opposite tail whip up and the stylish 360 down. Now that's where he messed up run number 1. He didn't get full extension on the flip tuck no hander, but he brushes it up on run number 2 and links it to that backflip tail whip.
No doubt about that right there at the end. That's what he was looking to get. He gets it on the second run. Now he's trying to beat an 84 to get into a wild card position. Jakob Wenzel in that last wild card position. If he could beat an 84, that would put him in position for it. Or beat an 86 would put him in a podium situation. So it all comes down to this with the judges. Is that run better than an 84? Run number 2 comes in, 78.7, 8th place for Eric Fedko right there. So top 10, respectable finish, but not in one of those wild card positions on that second run.
Yeah, that kid's going to be around for a while. You can tell he's got what it takes. He's got a look of determination, too.
What do you do here if you're Josh Hult? You're in 3rd place. You got an 86. You're also first for the wild card situation. What do you do here, Cam?
Oh, this is exciting. Most people, may just add a little bit of something here or there. Josh Hult, he craves these opportunities, getting one strong run in the bag and being able to just kind of throw caution to the wind. This guy has so many tricks. So a lot of excitement building up for this drop in here for Josh Hult.
So excited to watch it. He's in 3rd place. He could get the wild card. Dropping in right now, 33 years young, Josh Hult.
Room to experiment. He's already doing it, adding an extra bar spin into that 360, doing a 360 double bar to start things off. There's that opposite tail up off of the New Belgium up log into the Powerade hip. 360 double downside whip. Landed it perfect. Hold it together, Josh. You got this. Backflip bar spin up. Look at the aggression. This large rider out of Idaho has so much power. The amplitude of that front flip tuck no-hander. What's he got for the last jump? Double backflip to the moon, and he stops it.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's way too quiet in here. Give it up for Josh Hult. Come on now. Damn, son.
Whoa.
What the heck?
Oh, man. We're always pulling for this guy, but something always seems to happen. We're always rooting for him to at least get one strong run in the bag. Here, 2 huge runs up in the ante in run number 2 with tricks like that 360 downside double tail up, adding an extra whip in run number 2, a backflip bar spin up, a 360 down, and he loves the big jumps. This is where he shines. Front flip tuck no-hander, holding on to the speed, and then lofting that double flip, low on the landing, grabbing that rear brake, just to make sure he doesn't over-rotate. We're going to get a cable cam slow-mo version.
Yeah.
What do you think about that double flip, Brad?
Watch this back wheel, too. Boom, apply brake, set her down. Boom, Josh Hult.
The air awareness, the presence of mind.
Damn.
So psyched for this guy right now.
Zach Lewis coming in, congratulating him right now. Let's see if we can get another word with him, with Lorette. Lorette.
That's huge.
Josh Hult, congratulations. 2 amazing runs. You are now in the prime position for a wild card. Man, how did you put it all together?
It's really like I said after my first run, I just really tried to focus on my runs and just try to focus on the best I can do and let the placing and everything else figure itself out.
Hey, Josh, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Guys?
Oh, yeah. Well, Josh Hult not only going for the wild card spot, but podium spot, too, as well, because he's in 3rd from the first run. Let's see where this puts him on run number 2. An 89, Josh Hult in the 2nd place. Booyah!
It is Josh Holt's day.
An 86 and an 89 in the finals. Wait a minute. I'm always used to seeing him do things solid in qualifiers, but he came up and he blew up today. And he's a guy who rode all day yesterday. He wasn't waiting, wasn't sitting around. He rode downhill yesterday.
Seat time pays off.
All right, David Lieb coming up for you next. 73.3 on his first run score. Just 20 years old to drop in next. David Lieb.
Young rider from Michigan, no stranger to the BMX bike, the mountain bike, all the way over to the motocross bike. Very well-rounded and capable athlete. 360 double bar spin on the step down. Man, we're seeing riders pull out all the stops in the finals. Huge tabletop after catching the tail up on that wall feature. 360 downside whip off the New Belgium log. Oh, a straight 360 on the Powerade hip. That's not going to help him, but he can make up for it here. Big amplitude on the opposite tail whip, linking it to the bar spin. Monster dirt to dirt, triple tail whip.
What?
Stomping it. Oh, into the 360 tabletop. He was the only guy doing the double whip on that monster dirt to dirt. Now he's doing a triple whip.
Triple whip. Let's hear it for David Lieb one more time. Come on now, out of the U.S. Checking him out here in our replays.
With a good run under his belt in run number 1, he's kind of experimenting a little bit out here. It took him till the bottom of the course to really chuck a trick that we weren't expecting out of him. Missing the variation on the Powerade hip, that's not going to hurt him, but I love to see when a rider keeps their determination and says, you know what, maybe I made a mistake, but I'm going to still go big. 1, 2, 3 tail whips, catching early, landing long, and then still able to squeeze out that 360 tabletop. And we're going to get a slow-mo replay of this triple tail whip, Brad.
Count them, there's 2, and there is 3. The bike gets a little sideways in the air, but still finds the pedal, sets it down.
Look how far he landed, too.
So David Lieb trying to shake things up. 79.3, run number 1, 74.3, 10th place. Top 10 for David Lieb. And a guy that you're going to be seeing for some time. Just 20 years old, that guy right there.
Yeah, I want to see him at some more competitions soon. This guy really has a future.
And we got Logan Peat coming up now. Logan Peat, 72.3, run number 1 for him. Down there in 11th, but you know that if Logan Peat could land a Logan Peat run, he'll go far above that 11th spot.
Oh, he can. He's got a lot to add to that run. And, you know, a guy like Logan Peat who trains with Brandon Semenuk, Paul Genovese on a great training compound, riding these types of courses is routine for him. So I know he's good under pressure, too. So looking forward to seeing him throw down.
So here we go, 6th place last year. Logan Peat dropping in 72.3, his best score of the day.
Logan Peat, opposite 360, lofting it down the CFF drop, and huge amplitude on the Trestle wall ride. A 720 off the cannon.
Oh!
That's new for the sport. Are you kidding me? Opposite 360 bar spin. Man, if he can hold things together, this can really shake things up. A tail up on top of the on-off box, a 360 down. 2 more big opportunities for Logan Peat. Backflip, tuck no-hander. One last jump. Backflip, tail up, stomping it.
Logan Peat coming out with a big one on his second and final jump. Put your hands together, get loud for Logan Peat. Smooth style out of Logan Peat.
Did he seriously just
What?
720 the New Belgium uplog?
That's a first, right?
Come on, replay. So the reason why a 720 has never been seen off a cannon log is because, look at this, you have to bunny hop to initiate the rotation. This one's slightly hipped and slightly off camber too, so it's a tough feature in its own right, but then put it off camber. The fact that we're seeing 720s off of uplogs now, that just shows where the sport is. Logan Peat, a guy who's usually casually stomping similar runs event to event, coming out of his comfort zone and being the first guy to do that 720 off of an uplog. So impressive. Look at that camera angle, stomping that backflip tail up. You know, once you stomp a huge move in the middle of your run, it puts so much pressure on even your somewhat routine tricks, because it doesn't count unless you get a top to bottom full stomped run.
Well, where do you put Logan Peat at this point score-wise? You saw what Josh Hult's done. We've seen what Nicholi has done. Max Fredriksson too as well. So you got Nicholi, Josh, then Max, 1, 2, 3. Logan Peat is not trying to win a wild card spot. He's already earned himself a spot at Joyride. But he's just trying to get up on the podium at this point, and putting together a solid run like that is a good shot at doing it. Waiting for the judges on this one. So Griffin Paulson coming up, then Paul Genovese, who trains alongside with Logan Peat and Brandon Selmanuk. He's coming up. Then we're going to see Lukas Knopf from Germany, Braden Barrett-Hay, Max Fredriksson, Nicholi Rogatkin. So 83 right there for Logan Peat, top 5. 5th place for Logan Peat. One more time. So now Griffin Paulson, 13th place, a 69.3. But he's going to be better than a 91 for the top spot. Here we go, dropping in next, 20 years old, Griffin Paulson.
Ooh, I really want to see Griffin Paulson get a full run here. He's got a huge trick planned for the last jump. He just needs to back it up with great tricks on all of these features higher up the course. The backflip tail whip on the hip, landing sideways, but squaring up the body and holding on. A front flip up, a little under-rotated, but making it work. He needs all the speed that he can manage into this last jump. Looks like he's going to have it.
One more.
Double backflip, no-hander. Oh, under-rotating.
Yeah, took a tough one on that Maxxis money booter at the bottom.
He's up already, folks. Let's hear it for Griffin Paulson. Really going for it, Brad.
You know, he's 20 years old. Griffin Paulson, what he's trying to do is earn himself a wild card, get on the FMB Diamond Series. So he was trying to bring the A game here and pull out all the stops.
Flip no-hander to start things off, getting that flip variation on the drop. Now he did miss the bar spin. He's been truck driving that New Belgium uplog. He's probably thinking about the fact that he's going to try to loft a double backflip no-hander on the last jump. This front flip up was great. But let's take a look at how much extension he gets on the no-hander on this double backflip. Takes his hands off huge. So hard to know where you are when you're staring at the sky twice.
Here's the rotation you want to see from the Condor cam here.
Gets his hands back on, puts his body to the back of the bike to finish that flip. But wow, his chest looked like, because of that under rotation, touched the front tire, stopped his front wheel, and pitched him. That's a lot of turning right there for your brain to handle. 2 flips and then a front flip straight to the dirt. Tough kid, though, getting up right away.
And he was going for it right there. He knew what he needed to do. You needed to land that. 73, run number 1, or 69.3, he's going to keep that. And 13th place for the up-and-coming Griffin Paulson, just 20 years old. Now, Paul Genovese, a score in the 80s already for this man right here. He's in 7th place, and 81.7 only gets you in 7th. He needs to get up there and try and see if he can snag one of those wild card spots. So this is a big run for him, Cam. He's got to get something probably over an 84, I think, to have a shot at it.
The last opportunity to get back on the Diamond Series this season for Paul Genovese, a guy who's been there, tasted what it's like to be one of the top best riders in the world. He still is one of those best riders, but you need the results to get back into Joyride. Here we go. Double tail up on the Powerade hip. Now that seat grab, Indian air up. He's been doing that 360 down.
Clean.
What are we going to see on these last two jumps? The backflip bar spin, a tuck no hander, getting the combo. He missed that in run number 1. Now that huge backflip Superman seat grab. Even more extension in run number 2 for Paul Genovese.
So Paul Genovese, what he needs to do here, he had the 81.7. So he needs to try and get above an 84 here for a wild card spot to Joyride.
So one of the things that he really fixed in run number 2 that he missed in run number 1 is going to come on that monster dirt to dirt feature. All these tricks he's been stomping, no problem. Practice, qualities, run number 1. Seat grab Indian air, up 360 down, but here's where he knew he had an opportunity to improve. Backflip bar spin and then getting the tuck no hander. 3 tricks in 1 air.
Oh, look at that.
But then that backflip Superman seat grab, I swear, run number 1 had great extension, but freeze frame it right there and put that on your wall. That's one of the best tricks we've seen out here today.
Well, an 81.7, that's his best score so far. Trying to get up there around the mid-80s. Logan's praying for him, putting hands together.
Ride or die, doing it for ride or die. Paul Genovese.
This is a tough one because Jakob Wenzel's got that 84, so he's in that spot right now that he needs to get above that. Because Josh Hult and Jakob Wenzel look like they're the ones right now for those wild card spots.
Well, Paul did all he could do. He did his job today. Now the judges taking their time, making sure they do theirs.
Run number 1 was the 81, 82.7, 6th place for Paul Genovese. So that's not going to get him the spot he wanted. Very solid finish from the number 5 qualifier, but he was really trying to pull for one of those last 2 wild card spots as we get set for Lukas Knopf, who's about ready to go here for you. Beautiful sunny day today here for the finals. And there you go, Nicholi Rogatkin number 1, Josh Hult number 2, Max Fredriksson number 3. So Jakob Wenzel is in that spot with the 84 for a wild card, and so is Josh Hult in that number 2 spot with the 82 right there. So Paul was needing to beat that. So you got to beat the 84 is what you got to do. And Lukas Knopf, who's in that 10th spot right now with a 76.7, he's got a chance to do it.
Lukas Knopf and Braden Barrett-Hay, the last 2 riders who can sweep those wild card spots away.
But
talk about pressure, huh, Brad?
But it's going to take a big score because you look at Josh, you know, that's going to be the tough one to beat, the 89. You got room to beat Jakob with the 84 to an 89. There's 5 points in between those 2.
Yeah, you think about that run from Josh Hult, and he's got to be feeling pretty good. He'd have to get beat by both of these guys right now to lose that wild card spot.
But you never know because you got the youngsters ready to go now. So Lukas Knopf will get his shot at it with a 76.7. That's what he put together. Remember, he's got to beat an 84 here to earn himself a spot on the FMB Diamond Series. Lukas Knopf.
Oh, a tail up to bar spin. That is a huge combination, especially to start out your run. Lukas Knopf, the German rider, knowing this is his huge opportunity to get on the Diamond Series. And he gets the combo, the 360 tuck no-hander to bar spin.
Comboing up.
Backflip no-hander up, 360 bar spin down.
Combo down.
Brad, he's doing exactly what he needs to do, but he needs to finish strong. 360 tail whip, catching the pedals early. Strong run for Lukas Knopf.
If you are Jakob Wenzel at this part, you're kind of going, oh, man.
You're biting your fingernails, aren't you?
That's a good run right there. Top to bottom, Lukas Knopf. Let's hear it for the German rider right there. Nice to see him out here. 9th last year, 2nd year in CFF.
It's one thing to roll the dice at the bottom of the course, but to roll the dice on the very first feature, you run the risk of throwing your entire run away. The tail whip to bar spin was so huge off of the CFF drop. And then he brushed some more up here on the 360 tuck no-hander to bar spin. He also missed getting the hands off in run number 1. Number 2, making it all happen. All these very difficult combos with the pressure on. Just going to show that Lukas Knopf thrives under pressure. Now switching things up, getting that 360 tail whip. We weren't seeing him do that in qualifying or in finals. And it looked like he got his pedals so early, dropping a foot a tiny little bit, it looked like.
Did not see that in the live version of that, so judges will take note on that too. Is it enough to beat an 84? Jakob Wenzel in that final transfer spot for the wild card, sitting there with an 84. Josh Hult sitting in second with an 89. He's got a transfer spot for the wild card for Joyride as well. But does Lukas Knopf challenge the 84, challenge the 89? It all comes down to this, Cam. Braden Barrett-Hay coming up, then Max Fredriksson, who's in third, and then Nicholi Rogatkin, who's your leader with a 91. Here we go. Run number 2. 83.3. Lukas into 5th place. Just missing it right there.
But sitting in top 5, he's got to feel good about that. Back up to our next rider, Brad. Excited to see this kid, see if he can pull out all the stops in run number 2.
Braden Barrett-Hay, the last guy who could challenge for that wild card spot. He's got to beat an 84. Second and final run for Braden Barrett-Hay.
So if you think back to run number 1, he bobbled on that backflip double tail, taking a big crash, but getting right back up here for run number 2. Now he needs all these combos like that 360 tuck no hander, but he needs this 360 C grab in there to tuck no hander, and he lands it.
And he goes off course.
Going off course. Taking out the PA speakers, but he looks to be all right.
He is coming back up to get back on course. Let's hear it for Braden Barrett-Hay. Come on now.
Man, that may be the end of his run and his chances here in Winter Park 2017, but did he ever go down swinging? We're going to get a look back at this run. Unfortunately, it was only half of a run, but to be able to nail this 360 C-grub Indian air to tuck no hander, he was taking a ton of speed into this ramp, popped real high, went real long, and was not able to set up for that left-hand corner, went flying off the course.
And he is okay, Braden Barrett-Hay. You know what he was going for? He was going for one of those final spots in there.
Oh, if he could land that run, man, he would definitely be a contender.
Well, it's going to have to be wait for another year for Braden Barrett-Hay. Well, then you got Max Fredriksson, who, you tell you what, man, he's been trying to come back from that injury. He had a good podium, a couple good podiums in the last couple years, but then he got injured with that collarbone, knocked him out of that. He's in third right now. That's a medal position. He's not trying to get the wild card because he's already in for Joyride, but trying to take the win in third place right now. 87.3 is the score he had. Fourth at CFF in 2015, third at Joyride 2016. And here we go. Next up, put your hands together for Max Fredriksson.
Well, Max knows exactly what he needs to do. He's such a competitor. Feet straight to the pedals this time on the double tail up. Bar spin to bar spin back on the trestle wall ride. Getting a great smooth flip on the cannon log. 360 downside tail whip. I think he's gonna really up the ante right here. Okay, the opposite 360 bar spin, missing the regular 360 bar spin down. He's gonna wave this one off. He knows he needed that huge link on the on-off box to be able to improve his score. He was gonna go for something huge on that last jump, I'm sure, but too bad. Last run of the day for Max Fredriksson, not going the way he wanted.
Well, I'll tell you what, Max Fredriksson, he is definitely back, that's for sure.
So everything was going as planned at the top of the course. He may have wanted to squeeze something in after that 360 downside tail up, but losing a little bit of speed by casing on the Powerade hip, and it's a chain reaction that followed him all the way into the Maxxis on-off box, not able to link what he was linking in run number 1, and waving it off, knowing that that was going to have to be a throwaway.
Well, Max Fredriksson, he is back, definitely on the podium, back from injury, but then the biggest story that we have talked about since the qualifiers coming in today, all of yesterday, was Nicholi Rogatkin. No matter how much of an amazing rider he is, Cam. He still has not won Colorado Freeride Festival, the contest that put him on the map in 2013. But that is done. That's a thing of the past because he's going to come away with the win for the first time ever. Nicholi Rogatkin's going to take the win out here. And this is what we call the party lap, the victory lap. Put your hands together for Nicholi, your winner, Rogatkin.
Look at the smile on this kid's face as he drops in for yet another victory lap, something that he's becoming accustomed to on the slopestyle circuit. But a Nicholi Rogatkin victory lap is better than a victory lap from anybody else out there because he goes huge for the fans. It's not just whips and tables for Nicholi Rogatkin. And I would not be surprised if we saw something massive out of him on this last jump here. What's it going to be for Nicholi? Another twister. Whoa! Did he do a 1080 X up?
What?
You have got to be kidding me. Blowing out the back tire. We have never seen that before, Brad.
I've never seen him drop it. Nicholi Rogatkin out of nowhere blows his tire out. This is a victory lap. You're supposed to cruise on the victory lap.
Oh, man. Oh, I can't wait to get a replay of that.
What is going on?
You know, a lot of riders would just do whips and tables all the way down the course. But Nicholi, not even just setting up, he knew in the back of his mind he was going to try something that's never been done before in the slopestyle contest on the last jump, yet he's still tossing out cash rolls, front flipping up on top of the on-off box. Now he's thinking, all right, here we go. I got to carry my speed and do something absolutely nuts. Here it is.
Watch this.
1080. He stalls it out in the middle. I want to see slow-mo of that, I think, here.
Oh, here's your slow-mo.
Perfect angle.
Ask and you shall receive.
On the forward spinning axis, he stops in the middle, gets that X up in the middle of the 1080. Well, I guess that's what we're going to see.
Sets it down like 40 to 50 degrees short, blows off the tire, and comes away right there. One more time for Nicholi Rogatkin, and let's send it down with Lorette Nichols, see if we can get a word with our champion. Lorette.
Going for broke with the 1080. Guys, literally he ends the contest going out with a bang. You finally get that monkey off your back. You take the win here at CFF 2017. What does this win mean to you?
It means so much. I can't describe it. You know, hearing Brad telling me that I had won before I dropped in, just couldn't believe it and knew I had to throw down something. I mean, these fans waited us out yesterday. They're all here today in full support with this good weather, and yeah, had to end the contest with a bang and did that. And yeah, I just so stoked to take the win out here, and stoked for how the other boys rode as well, because some guys did some good stuff today for sure.
Nicholi, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Guys?
Well, nice work for Nicholi Rogatkin. Like you said, Lorette, finally getting that monkey off his back. He's been on the podium. He's qualified first on Friday. But none of that counts unless you stomp it in run number 2 of the finals. He was able to do a victory lap because run 1 was enough. But, man, isn't it cool to see a showman like Nicholi Rogatkin hinting at what we're going to see in future slopestyle contests, a 1080 X up. Well, what a crazy final here from Colorado Freeride Fest 2017. We'll be getting to the podium here shortly. Thanks for tuning in.
The Maxxis Slopestyle Open at Colorado Freeride Festival has been brought to you by Maxxis, descended from legends. Kind, ingredients you can see and pronounce. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. Giant, ride life, ride Giant.
Brought us together, really. Yeah, we actually met at a bike shop, and I was riding cross country before he was even into it.
She was riding mountain bikes, and I thought that was really cool. So we'd start riding together and camping out. That's truly what brought us together, you know.
Kind of get to focus on each other and really, you know, help motivate each other and help each other get better at certain things, and kind of just spend some quality time together.
Right.
It's cool to be able to come to a place where he can have fun and go down, you know, more technical stuff.
She can cruise and do the easier lines, and we can still be riding together at the same speed.
Still have fun.
So.
Still doing what you love, but you don't necessarily always have to be together at the same time.
There's nothing more badass than being able to see your wife, you know, come in behind you, just slaying it, you know. It's just so impressive, you know, to see that.
Anytime we are, you know, maybe having an issue or kind of loose side of things, it's always good to go out, go ride our bikes, and forget about, you know, little stuff that doesn't matter.
Focus on what's in front of you instead of life.
Yeah, and what brought you together in the first place.
Yeah.
Was, you know, having fun and just going out there and trying new stuff.
Oh, that was a heavy-duty competition all the way down through it. Your Maxxis Slopestyle Open, the finals in the books. Before we hand out the wild cards, before we hand out 3, 2, 1, you guys have been amazing fans all day long. So let's put all your hands together for all the riders here today. Come on, Winter Park. Well, it is a big year when it comes to mountain biking. The progression steps up every single year. And to try and earn a spot on the FMB Diamond Series is no easy task. But we have two gentlemen today who've earned their spot. They'll be competing, of course, on the Diamond Series. Your wild card spots, the #1 wild card going to Josh Hult. Put your hands together for Josh Hult. He's earned himself a spot. You'll be seeing him at Joyride. And Josh coming on up. Right on over there, Josh Hult behind me, and that means it's time for your second and final wild card here today. He's the fixture. You can see him competing on all the Crank Cruise World Tour. He does it in speed and style, but he did it today in slope style. Let's hear it with an 84 for Jakob Wenzel. And one more time, these guys have earned a spot on your FMB Diamond Series. Put those hands together. Show your respect, Winter Park. Good job, Jakob. Good job, boys. All right, don't go far. It is now time to hand out your 3, 2, 1. And you know what? I'll tell you what, it was amazing. Came down to it, and there's a guy who definitely deserved to be back in the hunt. He's a guy who was injured. He did good out there at Rotorua. He got injured. He wasn't able to compete for a few, but he's back. He made this his first competition back. He's in third place. He's on the podium. Put your hands together with a score of 87.3 for Max Fredriksson.
And one more time, don't call it a comeback. He is back. Max Fredriksson, third place out here today. And now the moment for second place. Coming out swinging today, putting in 2 scores in the 80s, but this one got him not only the wild card, but it got him in second place today with an 89. Let's hear it for the crusher himself, Josh Hult. The Mongoose rider getting it done in second place, and also will be competing at Joyride, doing it for Rockwell as well, Josh Hult. And now this is a fun one that I've been wanting to announce. This is going to take just a second. In 2013, he came out here to CFF, put on a great show. People didn't know who he was. He came from the BMX world, but he made a name for himself in 2013. 3 years later, he goes out and wins the FMB Diamond Series in 2016. He's competed in this comp since 2013. He's never won it until today. Ladies and gentlemen, much respect with a 91 from the USA, Nicholi Rogatkin. So congratulations are in order. There's your 3-2-1. Max Fredriksson, Josh Hult, and Nicholi Rogatkin taking his first win on the Colorado Freeride Festival. And you know what time it is right now, as I will move out of the way of this one. There you go. The champagne shower, how sweet it is. Hey, one more time for 3, 2, and 1. And congratulations to Josh Hult, a wild card for FMB Diamond Series. And big congratulations to Jakob Wenzel, winning the other wild card position. Well, that is going to do us here at the Colorado Freeride Festival and your Maxxis Slopestyle Open Final. But before we go, we're going to leave you with something special. Of course, we lost Kelly McGarry a few years ago, but he helped him build this course with Tom Hay, and all the riders came out and put down the Magaza train. So parting shots on behalf of Cam McCall, Lorette Nickel, I'm Brad J. Goodbye from Winter Park, Colorado.
I like having you down here. Yeah. All right, so hold this out.
Yeah, I'll get it back to you.
Do they wax it? No. I only put one in.
It's pretty amazing. I never thought that I'd be biking the level of stuff that we're biking with an 8-year-old.
I like to ride with my mom and dad because it's super duper duper fun. We talk a lot on the stops. It's pretty fun doing that, and we get to watch each other do cool tricks.
It's a sport that I love to do, and now it's accessible for me to do with most of my family, and that is amazing.
My favorite runs are Rainmaker and Oak Corner.
I think the best advice is to not be afraid and just get out there and do it.
We get to spend all day as a family and hang out in one of the prettiest places on earth.
First thing I remember as a kid is first time they took training wheels off my bike and just kind of freedom.
The adrenaline rush is probably the biggest thing.
You get to go out and just be, you know, as corny as it sounds, one with your bike. It's a real thing. If you're gonna ride a bike, it's always worth knowing, you know, how to work on one.
There's nothing better than getting on a bike that you put together yourself, that you take pride in, and then also getting out there and getting it fine-tuned and dialed in just the right way, really fine-tuning it to the way that the rider likes to ride.
Like, say you feel like you're getting beat up the whole time, and a couple clicks here on your compression, a couple clicks here on the rebound, all of a sudden it's like a Cadillac.
I'm always a little bit mystified or awestruck when I can get it perfect, because it just takes a lot of effort and a lot of trying to get something right. But man, for you, or even just someone comes in and they're stoked on what you did, it's a really rewarding feeling.
Never a bad time on a bike. Everybody here loves to ride. It doesn't matter your skill level. Everyone just wants to go have fun and be on two wheels together.
We're all here to have, you know, for the same reason. We're all here to have fun, rip on bikes, enjoy the mountain.
Just having a good time, ripping up whatever we can in the dirt. It's great.
You know, pushing myself on the bike, it's like something that I just have to do. It's what makes me tick, what gets me up out of bed in the morning. The feeling that I get when I accomplish something new for the first time, the state of flow and happiness and adrenaline, you know, I'm addicted to it. Biking in my life has been more than just a sport to me. It's been, you know, such an amazing journey. It's so fun, and I can never get enough.